Here is a brief demonstration on how to make a 3D object out of your 2D object. So the first thing to do is go to your little gear and make sure that you're working in 3D modeling. That's kind of important. Now here's a shape. It is not exactly like the one that you've got, but it gives you the right idea behind it. And you can see that this is some sort of a shape that is 0.9136 tall. This is some sort of a shape that's 1.116 tall. And that this is some sort of a shape that's 0.7396 tall. And the rest, this flat area here, is 0.25 tall. So it's a little bit of understanding how this drawing works. So I can actually use something called the press pull command on that. So I'm just gonna, I don't care, you'll make yourself a layer. Let's make a layer called solid. Usually it's like geometry or something like that, but that's fine. It doesn't matter what color we make it. And I'll put that as my current. Now watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go over to my view cube and I'm gonna click the corner of it so that I'm sort of looking at it on edge. And then I'm going to start at this end just so that I can see that circle there is this thing, 0.7396. So I can do something called press pull, and then I'll get inside that and see how it highlights. I'm going to click inside of it and I'm going to pull it up and go 0.7396. And that's pretty cool, but it's a little bit hard to see. So I'm going to look at it in what's called conceptual. So I go up to where it says 2D wireframe and I change it to conceptual. It just lets me see it in a different way. Now I know that this next little part here is 0.25 tall, so I'll press pull that. And I'll come up. I just make it go upward. And then I type the number 0.25. And then my next part is 1.1166. So I'll press pull. 1.1166. My next part again is the same as I had before, 0.25. 0.25. And my last part is 0.9136. 0.9136. So there we go. If I have a good 2D drawing and I have all of my information, then this comes out good. So now what I want to do is I want to do something called union. I want to make that all one piece. So there's the union button, or you can just type it in, union, highlight that stuff. Now that's all truly one piece. And watch, I can look at it now from any angle. There's my front view, my right view, my back view, my bottom view. So this view cube is really cool. But what I like to do is get rid of all my extra little pieces parts so that all I've got is the actual piece. There it goes. So I'm going to look at it from the front and come up here. That's my standard isometric view. Now here's the other really cool part. I've got my solid shape drawn and I'm going to go to my layout and I'm actually going to get rid of the viewport. And when I'm on the layout, my layout button comes up way up there and I click it. And now I can do something called create a view from a base view, which is from model space. And it's going to think for a moment and, oh, there it is. So there's my front view. Okay. And then it goes into making my other views. There's my top view. There's my isometric view. And if I right click and say enter, I've got them all. Just lickety split and look at how good those look. And these lengths are all right and everything is good. Now normally the isometric is not shown with hidden lines. So if I right click on it And no, I'm going to click on it and edit the view. Click. I can say here what I want it to look like. Visible lines. Maybe I want to show it shaded. Maybe I want to show it shaded with. So I've got all sorts of ways I can look at it. Visible. I usually do this visible lines. That looks very nice. And now all of your. I better make a text. And see, it put those on their own layers so that I can deal with them separately if I feel like it, which is really cool. But let me put a dim layer on there, which is continuous, and I'll make it red so it'll stand out to you right now very quickly, and I'll make it 0.014. And my dimensioning works just like before. I'll go to my linear dimension. And of course, I need to do things like set up my dim styles properly. And I got to put it on the right. So let's try that again. Let me get on the right one here. Let me come back. Come to my dim. Pull back a little bit, come here and start putting my stuff on here. 1, 2. There we go. Linear to my height. And linear to this height. And linear to my last one. Now you notice how I have this little break right here? It's because I always pick the upmost edge to click on. That allows me to put that little break in there. That's important for those of you who are doing this. Now really, I'm going to do a little bit better than I did before because I'm going to put my diameter up here. Put another diameter on. And I'm going to line them up if I can. I need to have my tracking on. Tracking. There we go. Now it'll track and they'll line up nicely. So I can do all of my good work that you know how to do. Of course, your numbers are going to be slightly different, but look at how nicely you can get everything to line up. Isn't that wonderful? Do a much better job. I mean, you can put your center marks on. Look at how good that all starts to look. And, oh, I did a boo-boo there somehow. I don't know how I did that. That's a terrible job on my part. Those shouldn't be off like that. Oops. I got something. So, look at all of them are messed up. I don't know how I was so sloppy as to do that. But any case, yours will come out much better, and that's how you start getting the job done for doing a very nice 3D model based on your good drawing for mechanical